you love, peace, and soul.
Oh, yeah, let's get it going. Let's get it rolling on a Thursday. You know how I like it, especially a little bit later on in the afternoon. This is the official beginning of the weekend. A little Modelo Yellow to get you going. Now, the 2 o'clock hour is here, and we're going to talk ball. We're going to talk your Jaguars as far as the latest news with Stephon Diggs going up to Houston, but we need to talk about college football, too. We got plenty of college football fans out there, Gators, Noles, Canes. I'm looking at a Canes Hall of Famer and Big Searcy.
Yeah, you know it.
We will fill them up with a little college football, especially with what's going on as maybe a super league is being formed. But let's just go down to Gainesville to kick it off, and let's say hello to one of the guys who's coming back from injury for the University of Florida during spring practice. Justice Boon joins us now on XL Primetime. Justice, welcome in. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
Hey, listen, we appreciate your time for sure, and I think obviously it's a critical time for you coming back from injury, but it's also a critical time for Billy. But start with coming back from an ACL injury. August of last year, your season came to an abrupt halt. How are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm doing better than I left off, man, honestly. It was definitely a devastating turn of events for me. I was definitely looking forward to having a great season. But God makes everything happen for a reason. Everything is a part of His plan. It's not my decision to decide when it's time for me to play or when it's not time for me to do what I got to do. But I know it's all in His will. So I'm doing good. Like I said, I'm doing better than ever.
Justice, I know as an elite athlete, you're constantly being told, and you believe it, that all you can control is what you can control. But you guys have to hear what people are saying about the schedule and how brutal it is, and Florida may not even win 5 games. Does that bother you guys?
Nah, man. Honestly, it don't bother us at all. Man, we just honestly blocked out noise for so long now that it just doesn't even matter to us. I mean, I honestly don't even pay too much attention to what people have to say about us, honestly, because what we do in this building, no one else knows. I mean, you might see a few clips and videos here, but no one knows how hard we work, how hard everyone puts their head down to achieve the goals and to fix the mistakes that we made last year. And to be the team that we want to be this year. Like Graham mentioned not too long ago, we're not really trying to prove anything to anybody else. We're trying to prove it to each other and show each other that we can do and play our part in what we say we want to do for the team.
All right, Justice, Hall of Famer, you're speaking to right now. All right, August 31st, baby. What you got for me? What you got for me in the swamp, huh? How has the team been focused? How has the team been focused? Not only in the offseason, but this game game 1 against the Hurricanes, August 31st.
I mean, honestly, no disrespect to UM, but I mean, we not even just preparing for UM, man. We're preparing for everybody. August 31st is definitely the cap of the game, cap of the season, whatever. That's definitely gonna be the showtime for everybody to see what we really got. But honestly, man, we were just capitalizing on all the mistakes that we made last year, incorporating our new pieces to the team and building that chemistry, you feel me? Really just getting everybody to be on the same page and play for each other and play together. We're looking forward to 31st, though.
Now, Justice, I'm going to take that quote down to Miami where you say, we're not even thinking about Miami. I'm going to take that quote, right? I'm taking it to Mario. I would say, Justice said, we're not even thinking about Miami. I will go make sure they get that quote.
Yeah, man, we focus on ourselves, man. We focus on what we got to do to be better as a team, and whenever it's time, man, they're going to see.
We're talking with Justice Boon on the defensive side for the Florida Gators, a defensive end that's going to come back from an ACL injury. And just the fact that they did have to come through the trials and tribulations under Billy Napier. What has changed, do you believe, Justice, in this offseason that does give you that feeling that there's some difference in the way the team's going to play? Give us a few examples if you can.
For example, I mean, we made a lot of changes in the weight room as far as the certain things in the weight room that we take more seriously, as far as just simple things like core and prep and stuff like that. It's just really the small things, really capitalizing on the fundamentals. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that's all the game comes down to is fundamentals and who can do the right thing consistently over and over. So we've just been really focusing on being consistent and sticking to a program. I mean, we've been focused on our body weights, stuff like that, being better as athletes and people, you feel me, and all that's going to correlate to the field in a sense. I mean, can't get into too much detail, but I just made it a main part, just sticking to the fundamentals and capitalizing on the things that we need to capitalize on. We we got everything we need here. We don't need no special miracle or nothing like that. We got everything we need in the building. All we need to do is put our hand down and focus on what we need to focus on to be there for each other.
Nice. Hey, Justice, talk about the impact of Ron Roberts on the defense. He got there earlier in the year, and now he's helping out with the defense. What's his impact so far?
Coach Ron Roberts, he brings a whole lot of experience, a whole different mindset and aspect to the game. Like Coach Roberts, he does a great job in explaining things, and he will make sure that it's very understood. He will ask you, "Get it? Yes, yes." Like you feel me? He makes sure that we understand, and it's very appreciative. He slows the game down for us and allows us to see everything from every aspect. Like for example, we would be like going over gap schemes or like making sure that who's ever got a responsibility for whatever gap, and he'll make sure like everyone knows, okay, you got responsibility for this gap. The second level has responsibility for this gap. So he just make sure that everybody knows exactly what their job is and know what their know what our teammates' job is. So you feel me? He likes to say that don't just be responsible for one gap, but take over two gaps. You feel me? Just do your job and some more.
How difficult was it to watch that confusion? I guess is the best way to say it. Last year on defense, giving up the 4th and 17 when the game on the line against Missouri. How difficult was that for you to watch that, knowing you couldn't help?
I mean, not even that game so particularly devastated. I honestly would say the whole season was a little devastating for me. Just being put in a position, not being able to support my team or be there for my team physically as much as I wanted to be, and only being able to be a voice. I mean, that game was definitely a devastating game for us. It was just a game that we could have change the events of how our season was and possibly get a chance to get a bowl game, but nothing that we holding on to. The past is past, and it's just all a learning, and it's going to be a lesson for us to, like I said, fuel to the fire to go back and work on it and be prepared for it next year.
Well, Justin, first of all, I want to congratulate you on coming back for the injury, because I know the aptitude that it takes mentally to come back from something so devastating. Throughout my career when I was in the professional league, having to get that mental aspect back. So, but if I was to give you two case scenarios, you give me which one you would take. If I would give you personally will have 15 sacks this season, or the Gators win the SEC championship, which one would you take?
Man, come on, that's not even a question.
All right, I just want to make sure. I want to see where your heart is at now.
I'm a total believer in team success leads to individual success. I can't be nobody, or I won't feel like I am nobody unless everybody's winning around me. That's just the bottom line. Team success leads to individual success.
It's maybe one of those answers that people expect, but it's also a good answer as well. I'm reading a quote from WRUF, the story that they did on you as far as coming back, and it says, this is your quote: "When I first got here, I wasn't always with the best crowd." So how have you changed? How has the culture changed? Because that does, at the very least, suggest that you were running with the wrong crowd, which means the wrong crowd was in Gainesville as well.
Yeah, correct. Honestly, change I made is just like a lot of personal things, in the sense of that I just came in, I thought I was young, and I thought my body was just going to recuperate by itself after hard days of practice or workouts, and I just didn't really take things serious like treatment or spending extra time in the film room and giving more time back to the game, in a sense. Like I was just coming here, playing my part, and then going back home, getting on the game, running around and doing whatever I was doing, and it's just like you get out the game what you put into it. And like I said, in that time, Coach Napier saw that I wasn't giving everything to the game that it did deserve, and he got on me, and I listened to him because I have the unbelievable love for this game, and I know what it can do for me and my family. And I owe it everything. Like I owe the game exactly what it deserves, and that's what I did. I just eliminated distractions, start pouring more time into myself and my body and into the game so that I can be a better individual and a better player.
Justice, we know you got to go to team meeting here in about 5 minutes, but before we let you go, Billy Napier has been raving on you for a year. He raved on you prior to last season, saying this is the type of guy we want in this building. Explain to everybody the origin of your name, Justice.
Oh yeah, honestly, a little short story. I try to make it as quick as possible. I was how do I want to say it? It was me and my mom whenever I was conceived or being born. And my father, my biological father, he wasn't really a part of my life or really a part of my upbringing. So my mom hadn't really came up with a name for me yet or whatever like that. So she was just kind of like looking around the room and just kind of noticed that it was just me and her in the room, and she was just like, it's just us in the room, or whatever like that. She just kind of put two and two together and named me Justice, or like that. So it's pretty, what I want to say, like, it's a strong thing for me. Sometimes I honestly don't like to hear it because it's just like a little memory of a hard time that my mom went through, but at the same time, it's just a memory of a period of time that she was strong and she believed in herself. She believed in me, and it's just something very passionate, something strong to think about, honestly.
Well, that's a great story, man. Hey, man, appreciate you coming on the show. What I want to do, though, man, I want to apologize on behalf of the Miami Hurricanes for what we're about to do to y'all August 31st. So I just want to say that from the bottom of my heart, I apologize, man. You were a great guest on the show, man, but I just wanted to put that out there for you, okay?
Hey, like you said, we're going to quote you on it.
Hey, Justice, thanks, man. We appreciate it. I know Gators here in Jacksonville enjoy hearing the conversation.
Yes, sir, for sure. I appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
All right, man. Justice Boon coming back from the ACL, part of the Gators in the spring. You'll get to see them with their scrimmage coming up in what is it, next Saturday? Yeah,
I believe it is,
yeah.
the Orange and Blue Review, right?
Yeah, and so it's coming up fast, and so we're going to take a look at least a couple of the storylines there, a couple of storylines up in Tallahassee, down in Coral Gables with Leon, and give us a little bit of a Kane update, which we will do coming up in just a little bit. Now, we started with that, and then we also got a little something that is kind of cooking in the NCAA world. We can't even call it the NCAA world. We can call it the college football world because the Super League is about to take off. At least they think it has legs, so we'll set that up for you coming up here in just a second. Got our mocks. This is a Thursday, so we got to get to our mocks. And with everything that happened, Stephon Diggs going down to Houston, things changed. I'm guessing.
Shake up.
It influenced me. I'm not going to lie. I was making decisions based upon which I didn't appreciate. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't like that my hand. I didn't like the fact that my cards in my hands. I had to play based upon what somebody else was doing, but I did.
Yeah,
it's the same thing that happened last year. Think about it. It's the exact same thing with the suspension.
With the Cam Robinson. Exactly.
Same thing.
True.
And it 100% changed your board. Now, Brandon Beane's board changed a little bit. Pull the one soundbite, RJ, from Brandon Beane talking about Josh Allen real quick as we set this up, because we'll do our mocks as we go along today. But the big question when this all came down yesterday, was Josh Allen aware that his wide receiver room had just been fleeced? Okay, because Gabe Davis was not re-signed. Now Stephon Diggs is out the door. And there's been all sorts of chatter about what they're doing and thinking up there, because they were one of the powers in the AFC, made it to the postseason, considered to be another one of the powers going into 2024. So we're wondering, was there this big breakup between the wide receiver and the quarterback? Well, this is Brandon Beane. This is kind of your political answer to it. But here the question was asked, did you reach out to Josh Allen on this subject?
I have not talked to him since the move. No, he was on the West Coast, so it probably woke up to, whenever that move went down, he might have been asleep. But I'll circle back with him. But, Josh and I have a pretty regular conversation on things, and I think it's important for me to make sure if I think something could happen to make sure he's not blindsided. And so I would, without going into the discussion with Josh when the last time we spoke was, I did alert him that, there had been some inquiries and it wasn't 100% off the table.
You got to love it. Whenever they put that out there, he was trying to couch that as best as he possibly could. Yeah. And he also made it sound like there were inquiries, meaning phone was
conversations are being had with the starting quarterback in the corridors of wherever you don't just let a guy like Stephon Diggs go without letting Josh Allen know. Or he may have influenced him leaving.
Of course he did.
And the organization is going to always choose the quarterback over anybody else.
Have you guys not watched the relationship between those two in the last year and a half?
Yeah.
It's been
It was toxic.
contentious at best.
It was toxic.
Yeah.
Yes, so of course he had a play in it.
Yeah. So
that's Josh Allen saving face is what. Yeah. And Beane saving face.
About 25 minutes from now, we'll say hello to John McClain, who's been covering Houston sports in the NFL forever. And I'm just curious, at least from his perch, what will happen when Stephon Diggs walks into another locker room? Because when Stephon Diggs left Minnesota, he wasn't necessarily a happy cat, but then he became an all-pro player. As we said, a ton of catches, a ton of touchdowns. He was a productive son of a gun. And so anyway, we'll get into that conversation coming up. But before we get to your Jaguars, the mock drafts, and the AFC South, let's start taking a look at this, quote, Super League coming up on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
All we hear is Radio Gaga. All we hear is
1010XL.
The 2024 draft is almost here.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Join us at Everbank Stadium Thursday, April 25th for the official Duval Draft Party presented by Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Be there as the Jaguars make the 17th overall pick, and don't miss the unveiling of the official 30th season logo that you voted on. We're getting the party started at 7 p.m. Tickets are free, so register today at jaguars.com/draft party. We can't wait to see you there.
The Jacksonville Jaguars select.
When you think about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Prime Roofing is Jacksonville's local contractor that manufactures, fabricates, and installs metal roofs. Schedule today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Test your aim to help local kids succeed. It's the 6th annual Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation Clay Shoot to support the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida and Mackenzie's Camp Deep Pond, Thursday, May 13th at Jack's Clay Target Sports. Get your team and the Boys and Girls Club take care of the rest. Ammo, cart, clays, breakfast bites, lunch, and goodies. Proceeds benefit 56 area clubs serving over 5,200 area kids every day. Go to bgcnf.org/events.
A bucket of balls and free advice from PGA pros. Brunch with the Tour.
What's this about?
Dan, Jeff, and PGA Tour insiders.
It's a bit simplistic, but basically correct.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Mia here, and let me tell you about one of our area's best resorts, the Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa. The Sawgrass Marriott is not only a great destination for a vacation, but it is also a great destination for dining on the Florida's First Coast. 1912 Ocean Bar and Rooftop is now open on Ponte Vedra Boulevard, featuring Ponte Vedra's only oceanfront rooftop bar and lounge. Serving finely crafted cocktails and delectable eats, it's open daily from 4 to 10 with complimentary valet parking.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loan. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make that happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. you can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for a home improvement. Literally, hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com at 904-999-1508. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
You know, they say April showers bring May flowers, but about Nye, they're bringing more than just blooms this April. Pick and here, gang. It's time to spring into action and refresh your vision for the brighter days ahead. Don't let cloudy vision rain on your parade. From dry eyes and allergies causing irritation to cataracts blurring your vision, Bowden Eye can help protect what's important to you. If you're experiencing problems with your vision, call or visit BowdenEye.com to schedule your consultation. Bowden Eye & Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC.
All right, RJ, I thought you were going to do that. I put you in charge of this, all right? But I will go ahead and go for it because I love RJ's look, man. That look right there is like, what? All right,
We'll
so
work it out, RJ.
All right, here it is. A judge in North Carolina business court has denied the Florida State University Board of Trustees' motion to dismiss the Atlantic Coast Conference's lawsuit. Okay? So that has happened, all right?
That's just in the state of North Carolina.
Yeah, so a judge has dismissed it, right? So then the ACC commissioner, Jim Phillips, comes out with another statement that basically says, hey, this went our way. You got to love it. Here's his quote. We are pleased with today's decision, which confirms North Carolina courts are the proper place to enforce the ACC's agreements and bylaws.
However,
so he's trying to use, flex the old ACC muscle, saying any decision with the ACC needs to be settled in a North Carolina federal
and then in 2
courtroom.
days or 2 or 3 days actually, when business days I should say, when the state of Florida decides that the case will be heard in the state of Florida, it's going to be the same thing.
Right.
Florida State's going to come out and say, we are pleased that the case will be heard in the state of Florida, blah, blah, blah. Like at the end of the day, it's going to be how much money is Florida State going to pay to get out of there because they want out. The ACC doesn't want them in there anymore. The ACC knows it's the beginning of the end, all right, which is why this whole Power 70 deal that we're going to get into is right on the heels of this because the people that are pushing this new Power 70 league are all the athletic directors, the non-SEC and Big Ten athletic directors and presidents and capital investment guys.
Yeah, what was the
shock you that it's capital investment guys are part of it?
What was the name of the big three that they tried to align? The Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC.
The Alliance.
What was it called? The Alliance.
Yeah. The Alliance.
So this is basically what they're trying to do. And I don't know what's going to happen, but look, if you can have one court rule one way and go to another district federal court area, and you're going to get another ruling. Quite possibly. So you're right. The whole legalese crap in this is that they're just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
All they're doing, both sides are just flexing their muscles. The bottom line is that it's going to cost $500 million to get out.
Well, that's the top end.
Might.
Top end. After mitigation, court is probably going to be around, I don't know,
quarter?
$200 million,
$250 million.
Somewhere around there. Like if they're lucky, it'll be that. And then you pay that and you're out. And, again, I don't know where you're going, but they seem to think they know where they're going.
All right, so here's this other big story. So let's at least get into it. This has been described as the potential end of college football as we know it. Think Super League, and they use the description to compare it to Super Leagues in soccer. All right, so the way the report comes out via The Athletic, a 20-person group, including college presidents, they have proposed an idea to split college football's highest level into 2 tiers. In the proposal, 70 power teams would have permanent top-tier spots, while another 10 would be added and subbed via a yearly relegation
So hang on
system.
real quick. The 70 teams for everyone are it's the current setup of the ACC, the SEC, the Big 10, and the Big 12, plus Notre Dame, plus Washington State and Oregon State. That's the 70.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So that does add up. Now, again, whenever I say Super League and I say top 70 schools, including some of the lesser schools in these bigger conferences, it doesn't scream to me the top 70, but they're tag-alongs. They're included. They're grandfathered in, however you want to describe it, because they're not. Vanderbilt is not top 70.
But they're members. They're
Yeah, I know.
brothers.
I know
That's
that.
the way they think of it.
Yeah, you can't kick them to the curb. But the day is coming, and I promise you, this day is coming when this world that we know as the SEC, the Big Ten, the Power Four, all these conferences, the NCAA, it's all going to be blown up. There's you talk about litigation. There's enough litigation out there that are in the courtroom proceedings that are basically going to just blow this thing up and make sure all these players are getting paid. And there's going to be a union, and there's going to be an agreement when it comes to NIL, and so on and so forth.
Well, listen, if it's treat it like the Premier League. What do you think about it? You got all these guys in the top tier, and if they don't live up to their billing or expectations, then they fall to the.
That's the idea. The idea is there's an eighth conference,
Gotcha.
an eighth. It's 7 10-team divisions, whatever you want to call it. The idea is there's an eighth division with 10 teams where you move up and down. Okay, again, this is all hypotheticals because this all relies on the ability of the SEC and the Big Ten to say, yeah, we don't want our huge media deals. We'll just share it with everybody. That's what we're going to do. And it's never going to happen.
Yeah, you say never, I say absolutely.
Never. They will never share their money with it. And not only that, this whole concept of the top 70, the way they're trying to get around it is, well, everybody won't be paid the same with media rights. So Alabama and Georgia will get a certain amount of money, but Indiana and Mississippi State will not. And there's no chance in hell that the SEC and the Big Ten are going to all of a sudden just abandon those guys.
Yeah, probably not.
No way.
Because I always say, without losers, there are no winners. And so they do need some people to beat up on.
But there are there are winners right now. The winners are the SEC and the Big Ten.
No. I'm just talking about that's why they stay. That's why they stay part of the conference, schedule-wise.
I just don't want to get everybody's hopes all up for this. And we're definitely going to get into this. But I don't want to get everybody's hopes up because the reality is the 20 university presidents are all from non-Big Ten and SEC conferences.
Yeah.
So they're all the universities that are on the verge of getting kicked to another level of playing football.
Yeah, and it's funny because the only, quote, Power Four conference that has heard this proposal, according to the story, is the ACC. And the ACC are as desperate a bunch.
The Big 12 wants no part of it.
Yeah, they're as desperate a bunch as there is out there right now, trying to figure out what their place is with all the musical chairs that's going on in college football. And it's football primarily. It will still be more than one sport, at least if this were to play out right now. But
the
primarily,
crux of it is this.
The revenue producer.
This is the crux of it, that the capital investment people will give them money, the 70 schools money, so they can pay the student athletes, pay for play, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In return, those same capital investors will get a percentage of media rights. Okay?
Yeah.
So basically what they're doing is you're asking these guys to not only, these guys being the Big Ten and the SEC, not only give up their media rights deals, but to give up a percentage to a bunch of capital investors that are coming in and trying to get control, a percentage of control of college football, when the SEC and Big Ten don't need it.
Yeah,
they're fine the way it is. And there's no like law that's going to prevent the SEC and the Big Ten from moving away from everyone else. That's the whole thing. You're not going to get anybody to say, well, they can't do it. Why not? Because it's not good football. So what?
So Matt, I crunched the numbers. All right, you talk about 70 schools. Each player get $100,000. 80 players on a team times 70.
Right.
$560 million.
Okay.
That's what they're prepared to give them.
Annually.
Yeah. To get a percentage of the
billions.
billions.
That's still not even
the billions.
I was
going to
say that's not even close to the 50% of what. Like we're just going to the NFL, 49%. Where is it, like 49-1 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
owners got 51%.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and they always will.
Yeah,
right.
we do.
So
yeah,
if you do the 49% of what, just like right now, what the Power Four conferences will make annually with the new playoff, it's almost $4 billion. That's $2 billion. So you're way off that number. All right. And then but if you start talking about the capital investment people paying it, then you're going to have to pay them money. And then they're going to deal with the players. And then they're going to deal with the collective bargaining. See, that's their whole pitch.
There will be a union.
Their whole pitch is, we'll deal with all that stuff. You just worry about being the university.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, whenever a capital investment company comes in and says, we'll deal with all this stuff, they're going to make money.
Oh,
of
course
they deal with all
this. Yeah, because if they're going to deal with the players, of course they're going to have financial advisors for the players and all that other kind of stuff, and probably rob them half their money. Yeah, that's
exactly. Because you know what that just means?
Think?
Yeah,
of course it will. Yes.
You know what that means? Instead of just the university pulling money out of the player's pocket, now there's somebody else pulling money.
Exactly.
Yes, they'll be making money not only off the off the media rights deals, but they'll be making money off the players too.
Well, I tell you what, this is the capitalistic society that we live in. All right, hit it, RJ. No, a little that first, my brother, because you got this.
Just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC.
So, cornerback Terrion Arnold, University of Alabama. He may be on one of our mocks coming up here in just a second. We will find out. Potentially the top cornerback in the NFL draft. The rap sheet, Ian Rappaport, he reports that the Arizona Cardinals entertaining Terrion Arnold this week, and he met with your Jacksonville Jaguars yesterday. Arnold is meeting with nearly 10 teams. So Terrion Arnold already meeting with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he definitely is one of the guys that we have our eye on when it comes to our media mocks. Now fire up our NFL music, and let's get to our first and second picks in our media mock. Not media mock, our Thursday mocks as we get ready for the Jacksonville Jaguars to select Thursday night, April 25th, with that 17th pick overall. We're counting down all the 17th picks that have come down the pipe. Yesterday it was 2007. It was Jarvis Moss. So we'll have 2008 coming up a little bit later on. But Big Sirs, you said that
I was
deal
influenced.
yesterday.
Absolutely. I was definitely influenced by Stephon Diggs going to the Houston Texans. I didn't think I was. But my pick this morning was, and you would be surprised, I went Adonai Mitchell.
Oh,
wow.
That's right. I gave Trevor another weapon. Yes.
Okay.
They want to add an arsenal. This is an arms race.
You might have overdrafted him.
I don't know. We'll see. All I know is he runs 4.3, and and I know
he
it's
wants a wide receiver.
He wants a wide receiver. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So is it Adonai? Is it Adonai?
Adonai.
AD.
AD. I thought it looks like Adonai. Is it not Adonai?
I don't know. They call him AD. He likes to be called AD.
AD? Okay. AD Mitchell.
And this much is for sure, sirs.
Yeah.
In today's world, you can pronounce it any way you want. You can spell it any way you want.
I call him Adon. He's Adon.
Yeah.
Adon.
All right, so that's first round. Maddie, first round.
So I will say this: Brian Thomas was available.
Okay. All right. I gotta remind people of what.
Brian Thomas, the wide receiver at LSU, led the nation in touchdown catches last year. He was available.
Mm-hmm.
There was Joe Alt, the tackle from Notre Dame.
Well, that was crazy. I saw it was on my draft board too. I said he's not going to be available at 17.
And you know what I did?
No, you didn't.
I took Leatu Latu.
Did you really?
Edge.
It's an edge, and they need defensive end.
Okay. Listen, I'm not going to say that that's wrong. That's for sure. Now, the guys that were available with my first overall pick, 17th in the draft for your Jacksonville Jaguars, Alt, Brock Bowers, Latu, Byron Murphy, J.C. Latham, and Fatano. I was surprised, and this may be, just the way things fell for this one particular draft. This is one of my favorite drafts. I went Quinyon Mitchell, and he was there, 17th pick overall. So Terrion Arnold had been taken. Quinyon was there, 17th overall. Real quick, let's hit our second
pick. You know what? Listen, we need big and mean. We need space movers, right? All right, and this guy was available at 48 on the draft board, and I took him. I took Devontae Sweat, defensive tackle, Texas.
Yeah,
big dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wide body.
The only thing I worry about with him is
his weight.
Yeah, he's got
66.
a lot of it.
He's got a lot of weight.
Can he keep good weight on him?
He's more than 366,
yeah.
bro.
Is he? Well, that's what
At one
they had
point,
him
he
at.
was close to like Des.
Four bills? Not 4 bills, bro. Don't say it.
He was close. He was close at one point.
All right, so Devontae Sweat, who you got second round?
I got Ennis Rakestraw, the corner from Missouri.
Okay.
They got to have a corner. Believe me, I love it. I want guard. I've been saying all along, but they got to have a corner. And they got to have an edge.
Yeah, so you just went Latu and Ennis, and I really do like Rakestraw a ton. I went 48th overall, Keon Coleman.
Okay.
Keon Coleman. And there were some decisions there as far as who was there. Ladd McConkey, we've heard others that have been moving up. Ricky Pearsall's been moving up.
That 4.6 doesn't scare you at all?
It does a little bit, but I'm still going for a bigger receiver that can make plays in the end zone. So I went ahead and went for it. 48th overall, Keon Coleman. 96th overall.
96 overall, yeah. I went with the I hope I'm saying this right. Is it Kyrie Jackson, Oregon corner?
Yeah.
I took the corner. That's where I took corner there.
Okay. And he's a good player.
Yeah.
I looked at him. I thought about him. But he definitely comes with stock because he had to cover a lot of guys in the passing game. Matty?
So, I've been saying all along that it's going to be defense-heavy draft. I had to do something for our boy Trev.
Mm-hmm.
So at 96, I took Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver from Washington.
Okay. All right.
Fast guy. Good, got really good speed, very good. He's a physical guy. He's a good 50-50 ball guy.
Yeah. You think of two really good receivers that came out of Washington. Kalen DeBoer, even though he didn't recruit all these guys, they turned him into some ball players, that's for sure. 96 overall, I went with Adisa Isaac. The kid coming out of Penn State, defense. So I'm going edge. I'm just trying to not ignore that, but I know that I'm drafting that guy not to be an immediate starter. All right, so those are our first 3 rounds. RJ will figure out a way to post our mocks just so you guys can see them on social and add to the conversation. But let's get the conversation going with John McClain, who has been covering the Texans and the NFL for a long time. His thoughts on what Stephon Diggs does to the AFC South, joining the Houston Texans next.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Feel the power when the horses run free.
Are you kidding me?
This Sunday at Martinsville. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234.
Am I dreaming right now?
On Jacksonville's NASCAR station. 1010XL.
QC Kinetics announces the arrival of National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, an acclaimed orthopedic surgeon with 2 decades of experience and extensive research in regenerative medicine.
But I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it, and at the same time I integrated clinical research that's resulted in several publications that are really directing the future of regenerative medicine. I was drawn to QC Kinetics after I reviewed their protocols, and everything they were doing is consistent with my own approach.
Today, Dr. Scheinkup leads the entire team of medical professionals at QC Kinetics, taking this exciting medical breakthrough to a whole new level.
What we are doing at QC Kinetics is transforming lives.
Get lasting joint pain relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
If you're heading to the Aug or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
Prosser here. When it comes to the business of selling your home, there's one promise I can give you that will deliver, and that promise is ChadandSandy.com. That's Chad, A-N-D, Sandy.com. How do I know this promise is guaranteed? Because they say so and then they deliver. You see, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. So whatever problems you think you're having selling your home, there is your simple solution. They're going to buy it if it's not sold for exactly what you want. Mortgage rates have lowered going into the spring selling season. Now is the time to maximize your equity, and you can do it with the real estate team of Chad and Sandy. They have a plan and the experience to sell your home fast for maximum cash this spring. John and Ursula in Green Meadows wrote in, we weren't in great health, decided to downsize to an easier place to manage. After 185 days, our home failed to sell. We went to Chad and Sandy, sold in 12 days. You can too at ChadandSandy.com.
I-9 Sports wants to make sure kids all over the First Coast can enjoy growing up on a field or in a gym. And right now, summer and fall registration is open. So make sure you find out what I-9 Sports offers in your area across Duval, Clay, and St. John's. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 in the promo code.
Frank Frangie here. I was born and raised in Jacksonville, and I love living here. But I also know how bad bugs are in Florida. So I trust Orange Environmental Services to handle all my pest control needs because they've got the best technicians and effective treatment. Their name may be orange, but they think green. Orange Environmental has been serving the First Coast for over 50 years, and they now offer complete lawn maintenance services. Call Orange Environmental Services for peace of mind from bug problems today. Call them at 272-3284. That's 272-3284.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 4th, 1937, at the 4th Augusta National Invitational Tournament, golfer Byron Nelson won his first major title, 2 strokes ahead Ralph Goodall.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on the driver who treats the highway like a racetrack and the shoulder like a passing lane. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
When it's time for the March Mania brackets to bust wide open. As I was saying, it's mad. The Mania of March at BetUS.com is all about those buzzer beat bonus offers. And when the madness starts and Cinderella man steps onto the BetUS always has your back with back-to-back 125% sign-up bonuses on your first 3 deposits and even 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS.com Sportsbook and Casino, where the game... Join today. BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, where the game begins.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's ring up another guest on the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
So it went down yesterday. The Buffalo Bills send Stefon Diggs to the Houston Texans, completely changed the complexity of the AFC South. There are many tentacles to this, and let's go to the man that knows all things Houston. John McClain has been covering the NFL forever, and that is not putting any age on you at all, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys, and yeah, I do have a lot of age on me from covering the NFL for 47 years.
Yeah, listen, you know it. That's why we came to you for some intel. Now, look, on the outside, and I'll just give you the Duval version of this, John, they're flipping and tripping over here. Like, you know, what the H? Why did they do it and we didn't do it? So what's your view of how good Stefon Diggs can be to the Houston Texans?
First of all, they got him for a 2 in 2025. They had acquired from Minnesota, and they got Diggs plus a 5 next year and a 6 this year. And the Bills just had to get rid of him. That's a good example. They run out of patience with him because of his antics. He's not a bad guy. He's not a criminal who's accused of any crimes. He's a diva, as a lot of wide receivers are. He goes on social media when he's not happy. His brother with the Cowboys weighs in on it. Seemed like he had problems with Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, but he always played. And last year, through his first 9 games, he had 70 catches, 834 yards, and 7 touchdowns. And then they fired offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey, elevated Joe Brady, and they started running the ball more, throwing the ball more to the running backs and the tight ends, and the offense did not go through Josh Allen throwing to Stefon Diggs anymore. Now, he didn't cause any problems. They were winning, but over the last 10, counting 2 playoff games, he had 47 catches, 422 yards, and 1 touchdown. So was it because he hit some kind of wall almost midway through last season, or is it because they just changed their offense and they finished 6-1, so it was hard to argue with Joe Brady's strategy. He still ended up with 107 catches, 1,183 yards, and 8 touchdowns. And here he's going to be playing with Nico Collins, who had a breakout year, Tank Dell, who was a tremendous rookie until he got hurt. They re-signed their tight end, Dalton Schultz. And so that's a pretty formidable foursome. And they traded for Joe Mixon, who was coming off 1,000-yard season rushing, 1,400-something yards overall, and 13 touchdowns. So what Nick Caserio and D'Amico Ryans are doing, they're trying to maximize the opportunities with C.J. Stroud while he's still on his rookie contract. And I think last year caught everybody off guard. I lost a $100 bet to one of my co-hosts on the station before the season. He said, "Will you take Jacksonville or the field?" I said, "I'm taking the Jaguars. No way they're not winning this division." And I paid him. And so the Titans have done a lot of maneuvering. They're hoping they can be like the Texans, going from worst to first. You know, the Jaguars and the Colts are hoping they can overtake the Texans, but the Texans surprised everybody. I thought when they started 0-2, that I should have picked them to win 3 or 4 instead of 6. Then they beat the Jags by 20, and I thought that was a fluke. But when they came back here and pounded Pittsburgh, I thought, well, maybe there's something to this rookie quarterback. And they're doing everything they can to put weapons around Stroud. And they had money to spend in free agency, signed 11 for defense. They still have 9 draft choices, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth. And I think they will continue to fortify the defense because, as the Jaguars found out last year, there's a whole lot of difference when you're playing that first place schedule. The division's going to be tougher. They're not playing the NFC South this year. They're playing NFC North. Texans get a fifth division champion in the crossover game at the Cowboys. So the schedule's tougher. They get Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Allen, Jordan Love. That is a murderer's row of quarterbacks, and that's why they need to continue in the draft to build their defense.
You know, John, I think what they're doing is brilliant, trying to take advantage of CJ's early contract. But I think more than anything, it's and why the people here in Jacksonville are so upset about it is they're trying. They're trying. They got Danielle Hunter. They got Autry. They realize you've got to be able to pressure guys. What's the buzz right now in Houston? Are people? The expectation level now has got to be through the roof.
That's a great way, and if there wouldn't be a roof, it'd be into the stratosphere. And I think that's very dangerous. I see around the league the odds like on betonline.ag, it's gone from 22-1 to 10-1 for the Super Bowl. DraftKings 2,500 to 1,700. BetMGM 25-1 to 15-1. And here everybody's talking Super Bowl, which is dangerous. They're forgetting who they play and how difficult the schedule is. And the one that I've seen that makes the most sense is Vegas has them at 9.5. And I'd be very reluctant to take the over considering the schedule. That is sacrilegious here. I see a lot of national people talking about, they could be the team to dethrone the Chiefs. This team's never been out of the divisional round of the playoffs. They've never had home field advantage. They've never won more than one playoff game. I think I've said all along, and I still believe it, a 30-year-old wide receiver is not the difference in a Super Bowl. I think that more likely if that 2025 competing for the Super Bowl would be more realistic. I better whisper that because I don't want anybody to hear me say it. I might get run out of town.
John, but look, I like their aggressive nature. I think that they realize they have the franchise quarterback of their future. They know they got him on a rookie deal. And I don't think they're thinking divisional. I think that what they're doing is they're going, and I know it's a 30-year-old wide receiver, but I think that they're saying to them, so we want to compete for the AFC, not just the AFC South.
One of the things that they're banking on is Stephon Diggs being such a head case that playing for DeMeco Ryans will help. Another thing that'll help, and I guarantee you they didn't make this deal without talking to him, quarterback Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs orchestrated the greatest play in Vikings history, the Minneapolis Miracle, in the divisional round of the 2017 playoffs. So Case played with him, knows him behind the scenes. Now, he wore out his welcome in Minnesota. He wore out his welcome in Buffalo. And the contract is such, it's not going to hurt him if they cut him after the first year. But I believe that they will get the very best Stephon Diggs has. He's going to want to prove the Bills wrong. He's going to want to prove his critics wrong. They play the Bills this season. He might not be the number one receiver. He might be the third receiver. How will he handle that? Well, I think with Ryans there helping him keep that head screwed on straight, that he'll be really good this season because he didn't fall out of favor in Minnesota and Buffalo the first year. Mm-hmm. It took him a while. And so right now he knows, his agent knows, his family knows. He's 30. He'll be 31 in November. And this is a great opportunity for him because he still has a lot of money left on his contract. He can still make a whole lot of money if this is his last stop.
Yeah, it definitely is worth pointing out because he went from Minnesota with that hunger and anger all blended together. And then you're right, it didn't come apart until the end up in Buffalo, and he was fuming at the end of each season when he didn't get the ball. A couple more for John McClain, at McClain on NFL. He was with the Houston Chronicle forever and still does plenty in the Houston area and beyond. So when you think of DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud and the polish of two rookie individuals going as far as they did, just a quick thought on how you see the AFC South shaping up with the free agents that have been signed by the 4 teams.
It was a lot better last season than anybody thought it would be, with 3 teams having winning records. And it's interesting, the young quarterbacks. You know, Trevor Lawrence he's about ready to sign that monster contract. You got Stroud, you got Anthony Richardson went down early and certainly doesn't have a lot of playing experience, but they thought highly enough of him to take him 4th overall by Indy. And then Will Levis, they put a lot of weapons around him on offense. They are probably going to use Joe Alt, the left tackle from Notre Dame, as their first pick. That'd be offensive lineman 2 years in a row in the first round. They signed Lloyd Cushenberry, one of the top free agent centers, and they got Tony Pollard, and then they spent all that money for Calvin Ridley. So they're trying. They have a lot of money. They had a lot of money to spend this offseason, as did the Texans, and they tried to do it judiciously. And then there's the Jaguars, going to be very hungry based on not winning the division last year. I think it's going to be competitive, and I think if Will Levis stays healthy and he can be the quarterback that new coach Brian Callahan hopes he can be, we're going to see some interesting, competitive quarterback play in this division for a long time, and I think it's gone from being one of the worst with the NFC South, and I'm not going to say it's one of the best, but it's certainly one of the most competitive.
John, you've been around the league 47 years, like you said. You've seen all different kind of scenarios play out. Last year with this club, sometimes I think we're too close to it here at ground zero, and we don't see it from 30,000 feet. When you saw this team at 8-3, what do you think happened over the second half of the season?
Boy, it sure looked to me like you see a team that things start to go bad and they mushroom. And then you see them not making plays that they made through the first 11 games. And it looked like a collective confidence. Injuries have contributed, of course, including the Lawrence, that lose some tough games, and they weren't able to get it back. And what they'd achieved the year before, win the division, win the playoff game with a great comeback, I thought they were going to run away with it. But you know what? They should sure be highly motivated. Doug Peterson is a good coach. You know, Trevor has not been the generational quarterback that he was supposed to be when he was taken 1st overall, but it doesn't mean he can't be. They tried to put weapons around him, and I would expect for him this is his big year to explode, and I think there's a good chance he will in this quarterback play in this division. Right now, one team might need another quarterback. All the others are secure for quite a while.
Yeah, we're going to find out, honestly, about Will Levis. He's the biggest question mark of the bunch, that's for sure. John, thanks for the time, and we'll finish off the conversation with how John put it out on social earlier, and this is probably what drives Duval a little crazy. The Texans have added a 100-catch receiver, a 1,000-yard rusher, and a 10-sack defensive end. So when you think of it that way, that's well put, John. Hey, listen, man, we appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon as we get closer to kickoff.
And a 13-sack defensive tackle to go along with it.
Now you're just raining on our parade. Now, John.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you. All right. He's awesome at McClain on NFL, and that's what it is. That's the only way to look at it, essentially, is that you added
massive upgrade.
Yeah.
Well, they're best in show right now. I mean, this is a contest best in show. Right now, they're the pretty girl in the contest.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's still a reason. Let's make this the 10-10 take before I got to jet out and do some PGA Tour work. Let's do the 10-10 take.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
So you can order up some delicious Sonny's. If you're getting that hunger pang right now, you're starting to think about dinner, a rack of ribs, that would go great. They could be baby back, St. Louis, whatever it might be, with all the other delicious sides to go with it. Check out any one of your area Sonny's. So somewhere someone is happy. Houston would fit that description. Somewhere someone is sad. Maybe Buffalo fits that description. But are you really sure the Bills are upset or sad to see Stephon go? We don't truly know. We don't know what Josh Allen thinks of this, but we pretty much know what Brandon Beane thinks of this. He took a $31 million cap hit to get that cat out of town. So for some reason, some way, somehow, he said he can't be in this locker room anymore. That's the 10-10 take. We'll find out whether it works in Houston or not.
Well, I mean, John said it in the interview. The philosophy of the Buffalo Bills changed from Ken Dorsey to Joe Brady. They went to more of a run, play action to the tight end game. And you heard about his numbers. His numbers dwindled. Stephon Diggs' numbers down the last 6 games. He had 1 touchdown. He had 400 yards and 1 touchdown. When probably in the past, he probably scored more touchdowns. The ball, you've seen in time where Josh Allen is trying to thread the ball to get the ball to Stephon Diggs in triple and double and triple covers. Yeah. And that had a lot to do with the fact that he wanted the football.
Yeah.
But now the philosophies have changed.
Still a bit of a diva.
All quarterback. I mean, all wide receivers. All of divas.
They're never happy.
I played with 2 divas.
Yeah. They're never happy. All right, into the 3 o'clock hour, back to the mock draft that we've got every Thursday as we lead you up to the Jaguars selecting 17th overall. We're going to relive the 17th pick in the 3 o'clock hour from 2008 and then finish off our mocks. You guys can chime in. Hit the text line 641-1010. It is XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Mystery Men.
I'm invisible. Can you see me?
Yes. Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Do I know you guys? I don't think so.
60% of the time, they talk sports all the time.
Learn it, live it, love it.
Mornings on 1010XL.
We aim to please.
An ACL tear can be a devastating injury with prolonged pain and rehabilitation. Hi, I'm Dr. George Bari. I'm a sports medicine orthopedic surgeon who grew up right here in Jacksonville and then went on to train with the world-renowned Dr. James Andrews. At Bari Orthopedics, we use the most current techniques to get you back on the field with less pain and quicker rehabilitation. We treat all types of sports injuries with the newest techniques available. Please call us for a consultation or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
Patriot Roofing Services, specializing in all types of commercial and residential roofing and repairs, gutters, sun tubes, skylights as well. 10-year workmanship warranty, financing available, military and senior citizen discounts, no subcontractors. Mention this ad at the time of the estimate and receive $500 off any new re-roof. Call Mark today, 982-4052, 982-4052, licensed and insured.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold, whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island, or Bud Light Seltzer. Dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
Got a septic tank at your home or business? Give Duck Duck Rooter a call today to schedule your pump out service. From septic pump outs, inspections, to new septic tank and drain field installations, we are Northeast Florida's only master septic contractor. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Race into Gate for big offers. By big, we mean great deals on Red Bull and a chance to win tickets to the big race coming to Miami May 3rd through 5th. Buy 2 8.4-ounce cans of Red Bull, get one free. And if you're a MyGate Rewards member, you are automatically entered for a chance to win race tickets. Not a member? Download the Gate app and sign up today. See store for details. Go from good to Gate.
This is Joe C. from XL Primetime and stoked to crank up the 9 after 5 once again at the Golf Club of Southampton. Every Wednesday, a little after 5, the gang at Southampton will be hosting us with a new game, and I'm inviting you to be a part of it. Now, through the summer stretch, break up the week with a little hump day fun every Wednesday. Call 287-PLAY to get on the tee sheet. There'll be food afterwards and prizes, including playing for a membership at the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and hit the tee with Joe C.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free. No credit cards, no car loan, no personal loans. Hey, it's Prosser here, and Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make that happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards, get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508, 904-999-1508. That's loanpronto.com at 904-999-1508. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Window Gang Jacksonville. Jaguars linebacker Foye Oluokun was an in-studio guest today of Helmets and Heels and spoke about his contract extension with the Jaguars and wanting to help the team win.
Kind of feel a duty to the city of Jacksonville is to win more games. Like, it's kind of had a hole in my heart since the end of last season, not even before the season ended, kind of just on that stretch where we weren't playing our best football, that, you know, that the city deserves better, the team deserves better from me. So I think signing that more meant like my dedication to the team, to winning games that's what I signed for.
Foye Oluokun on Helmets and Heels. It's 69 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, we're back. Hour number 2, XLP. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy. Good to see y'all. RJ's in the box. Drinking out a little push. I like it, RJ. Well done. All right, Leon, I want to get back to something John McClain, our previous guest, touched on. John, of course, has covered the NFL for almost 5 decades. It's amazing. Just one of the most respected writers going. His point that I thought was brilliant, and you and I talked about this in the pre-show meeting, what the Texans are doing right now by adding these key pieces in free agency, Donnell Hunter, Autry, Joe Mixon, obviously Stephon Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to take advantage of the early years of C.J. Stroud's contract, where they're only paying him the first contract.
The rookie contract,
The rookie
yes.
contract.
Absolutely,
Because once
yeah.
he gets to contract number 2, then you're talking about paying him $40 to $50 million. Then the cap hit significantly changes.
Yeah.
So they're trying to put the pieces around him, not only because they need better pieces around him, but because financially it works. It's a brilliant move, and it's a move, frankly, that I don't understand why it didn't happen here.
Yeah, I mean, but what the franchise, once they realize they have their franchise quarterback, you know, they're making moves because they can afford it, because they know within the next 2 or 3 years when he wants that $40 to $50 million deal, more than likely the team's going to be dissembled. I mean, it's going to be just like Buffalo.
It almost has to be.
It has to be because
Right.
because the quarterback is going to garner so much weight and so much capital that it's going to be hard to keep those components around them. So the Texans are doing a brilliant job. They're saying, listen, we know we got our guy. He's proven during the season that we're going to build around this guy. While we've got the time and the space and the opportunity, we're going to put the key guys around him, wide receiver, running back, you know, components on the defensive side of the ball that's going to help them get more possessions and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a brilliant idea. I mean, we were talking about the same thing last year when it came to the Jaguars. Everybody was like, Jaguars aren't making any move, you know, during the mid-season trade. We need a pass rusher.
Right.
We need this. We need that. I mean, the Jaguars stayed steady, and it frustrated a lot. I mean, when you're winning, you kind of give them a pass, you know, because the Jaguars were winning, and we was like, oh, we don't need anything. Trayvon's going to develop and all that kind of stuff. But then when the thing starts to crumble towards the end, and you ask yourself, why didn't we get a guy here? Why didn't we get a guy there? That kind of stuff. I just think what the Texans are doing is brilliant right now, to be quite honest with you.
I mean, is it enough to stop the transition that looks – it's really odd, actually. The Titans, they go from winning the division to blowing out in the second half of the season 2022. The Jags go from winning the division to blowing out in the second half of the season 2023. Now the Texans have the expectations. Now they've made the moves to put themselves in position. How do you stop that run of, again, it's the expectations. And John McClain talked about it. They're through the stratosphere right now. How could they not, right? As a player in that locker room, you guys always talk, we don't hear expectations. We don't hear about anything. Justice Boon said it earlier in the show. We don't care what anybody else thinks. We don't listen to that. Of course you do. How could you not hear that stuff, right?
You absolutely
so how do you avoid it, and how do you stay on task?
Well, you got to be a professional about it. I remember coming out of the 1998 season, going into the 99 season, there was some lofty expectations on this team, because we had Jimmy and Keenan and Fred and me, Baselli and Mark. We had all these potential, elite players on one team, and I think Coach Coughlin did an outstanding job in keeping the guys. Coughlin ain't gonna let you get too high spirited about nothing. All right, he's gonna keep you level. All right, if he had to add an extra gas at practice, he will. He's gonna keep you level. All right, and he would always come into meetings and say, "Hey, don't read your news clippings. Don't listen to this. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to the radio and all that kind of stuff." But it can get to your head. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting how players respond to being when you're the hunter or you're being hunted. The Jaguars were in a situation last year where they were no longer the hunter. They were the hunted. And it depends on how you respond to it. When you've got lofty expectations of you, you got to live up to them. Right. Or do you? Or do you compete with what people are saying about you, or internalize it and say, all I am is competing with myself. I'm just trying to be a better version of myself each and every day. And I think that as a coaching staff, you've got to keep the players, keep them level, don't hear the outside. I don't know how they do it nowadays, not the outside, because you got social media, 24-hour sports.
And they all love social media.
And they all love social, absolutely, all these different components. So it's harder on the coaching staff right now to keep these guys level.
The thing is, too, and I think this kind of gets underplayed, too, is that was C.J. Stroud's first year last year. Mm-hmm. Trevor's first year was spent with a dummy. And it was basically a lost year. Mm-hmm. So now the Texans, and we always talk about windows of opportunity. The Jags' window of opportunity was shortened because of that lost year. And the window of opportunity being how many years can you play with him at that first rookie contract. Mm-hmm. So the Texans are even up one more in that situation. If you look at it that way, they've got an extra year to deal with.
I mean, Trevor lost essentially a year and a half. I mean, the whole year with your guy, Herb. And then the last part of last year, I mean, half those games, there was a portion of those games he shouldn't have played. And, you can appreciate his toughness or whatever, but clearly he wasn't 100%. Well, no one's 100% in the game, but he was not himself. I think there are at least two games that Trevor should have just laid it down.
They were desperate for a win.
They were desperate.
They had to win a game, man.
I know, but the expense of your quarterback down the road, listen, you can look back and say it now, but because it's already happened. But there was a couple of times where I think that our backup quarterback was terrible. Beathard was not reliable enough.
More than likely the reason why
exactly,
he played so much.
Exactly. Right. He was not. He was ill-equipped to lead a team to win a ball game, and that's the reason why I think Trevor played in a lot of those games. But essentially, it did more harm than it did good.
All right, let us know on the text line what you think. Does it win or does it hit or does it fail? In fact, RJ, let's make that a quick poll question for XLP. The Texans' moves in free agency this offseason, hit or miss? Does it hit or miss? And let us know on the text line, too, because I have a feeling that Jags fans out there are a little uneasy about this because a lot of them are thinking, all right, well, this should have been done last year. Now it should have been done this year. And now you got your rival who, beat you by 20 at home. Mm-hmm. Now, the Jags came back and won a great game, probably the best win of the season, actually, even better than the Bills game, winning on the road at Houston when Houston was playing really well. So now you're there, and now you're kind of like battling neck and neck with these guys, and they make the move, and you kind of don't make the move. But, you add pieces, but do you add pieces that are like impactful pieces?
But I don't want no easy win. I mean, it's not beneficial to the organization if all the teams in your division suck. I mean, how does that make you a better team?
No, my point is, I think what the Jags added was, while there are guys that have performed well in the league at times, they're guys with baggage. They're guys with injury baggage.
True, facts. I mean, listen,
there's no Donnell Hunter in that free agency class.
No, absolutely.
There's no Autry in that free agency class, and there certainly isn't Stephon Diggs in that free agency class.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. Armstead is a bit of a splash. I mean, considering, he came from,
good player when healthy.
Good player when absolutely
yes,
great.
Absolutely
Player, unblockable when he's healthy. Absolutely. The concern is that he's missed 12 games in 2 years.
Right.
He missed 5 last year, but he had 5 sacks, whatever. He's better than anything we had over the last couple of years since Calais. That's sad to say. That is absolutely sad to say. That
is that going to be the bar from now on? When you add free agency guys?
He's going to probably be the most disruptive defensive tackle we've had since Calais was here. To be quite honest with you, now he's no Calais, but I'm just saying body shape, body type, as far as pushing the pocket, that kind of stuff. Can be unblockable if he's healthy.
I agree, but we in this city cannot fall into that trap of well he's better than what they had, because it's just you can't do that, because more times than not, well, yeah, he's better than what they had, because what they had led to all those losing seasons.
True.
So I think you got to. I think the bar of expectation has to be raised a little bit. I think you got to think bigger, and I think they're trying to do that. It's not like they're not trying to do that. I think they are.
Here's the thing: when I say it's better than what they had, I'm saying that as far as Roy Robertson Harris, who we re-signed, and what's his name? Not Fudikasi. Yeah, the defensive tackle we just let go. I mean, he's better than them, is what I'm saying.
Fudikasi.
Fudikasi. Yeah, I mean, he's better than what we've signed before. That's what I'm saying. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll definitely see.
All right, on the 910, what Leon just said is exactly what happened after 2022. Balky, the fans, the media, all of us saw the AFC South and said, man, they all suck. We good. And we were all wrong.
We were absolutely wrong. And listen, I drank that Kool-Aid too. And it had a lot to do with the way we ended the season the year before.
I got news for this. And again, jump on the text line and tell us, because you guys are going crazy right now on the text line. To the 910, you know who else thought they were all good? The players.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
So don't leave them out of that. Don't just say the media and the fans.
No, the players.
Balky, the players absolutely deserve some blame.
Listen, you went toe to toe with the Titan, and I called the Titan the Kansas City Chiefs. You were in their house and you lost by a touchdown, and you could have easily won the game. A catch here, a not fumble inside the 5-yard line there. I mean, we could have been in the AFC Championship game. That team that went 9-8 and came back and beat the Chargers here in Duval was one of the hottest teams in the NFL. All the pundits were saying, this team you do not want to play right now. Trevor was on fire, running game, wide receivers, defense was getting after, turnovers, big plays, all that kind of stuff. I said, I'm looking forward. I was looking forward to the player. And then, of course, the players are going to be full of themselves if they are a touchdown away from being the prudential Super Bowl champions.
Right.
Of course they are.
So,
absolutely.
So earlier on Helmets and Heels, Foyer Luakan was on with the ladies, and he said the reason why he wanted to stay is because he feels like he owes something, to the city. The team owes something. You look at these now, and I'm talking to a player now. This is difficult for me to ask you this because you've said over and over that it's not in your DNA. But how difficult is it for a player to look in the mirror and say, all right, I'm a problem, or I was part of the problem last year. It's got to change.
You have to. Every offseason, I used to say, don't let you be the problem. I mean, every player has weaknesses in some capacity that you can improve on. I always tell players that when they ask for advice, I say, listen, if you don't continue to learn in this game, when you think that you know it all, you need to retire. Every season is different. Every camp is different. Every training camp, every minute, all those things are different. You've got to approach it that way. In life, you're ascending or descending. There is no middle ground.
No,
especially in this league, there's no middle ground. You're either getting better or you're getting worse, and you got to be honest with yourself. Am I getting better? Am I a better version of myself each and every day? And that's the only way the team is going to. Everybody's going to got to have that same approach.
So, give me a percentage of guys you think have the ability, the inner fortitude to be able to do that and be able to change.
60.
Wow, that's a low number, man.
60%.
Well, I guess that's why the turnover in the league is just
that's the reason why. Listen, the NFL is a revolving door. I mean, because I told you, a lot of players coming in, they want to be in the league for the shiny things, the attention that garners from the media and women, and they want the shiny things. Then you got the guys who love the game. I mean, listen, I was a good player. I wasn't a great player. I know great players because I played with them. I know the great players.
You had great seasons.
Yeah, I had great seasons. I had great players. Yeah, here's the thing. The big fella, I could have been great, but I love the streets too much. Yeah, I love having a good time too much. I wasn't willing a lot of times, like the Woodsons and the Lloyds, and you stay after to 9 o'clock at night watching film.
So you could admit you could have been better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm being honest with myself.
So you didn't look in the mirror all the time and say, "Hey, man, you got a problem."
No, I walked by it a lot, but I didn't look. I walk by it a lot. I'm just being honest.
But it's also, I mean, you're talking about guys who literally since Pop Warner have been told how great they are, and they've been you're a great player, and they've gotten by all the time on just I'm better than that guy, and then you get to this league, and everybody's the same or better than you.
Yeah,
and it's different at that point, right? That's when you start weeding out the guys that aren't going to make it.
Absolutely. Hey,
well, I have a question with that. Do you think that mindset, I know we're talking about the Texans and the Jags, but other players, do you think having players like that, because there is the talk about Stephon Diggs probably being a problem in the locker room, does that kind of cement the difference between a championship winning team and a team that's middle of the pack or are talking themselves into still needing more pieces?
No, listen, I don't think Stephon Diggs was – I don't think he was a bad locker room guy. See, you always got to be cautious that when organizations let guys go, the baggage comes along with them. And the reason why we're letting them go, he was a bad locker room. No, he had a problem with Josh. I guarantee you the vast majority of the guys in that locker room he was cool with.
Right.
He had a problem with Josh Allen. See, organizationally, when they let a guy go, they got to justify the means in which they're letting him go. Locker room guy, toxic, diva, that. I've had guys on the team that came along with baggage, so-called baggage. Andre Rison came here. All we heard was that he was this, that, party ball. All were true.
Right.
All were true. But he wasn't no bad locker room guy. He just didn't run the routes right.
So what you're saying is the Bills, their number one priority was to be right with Jaws, and if that meant eating $31 million in dead cap space, they were doing it.
Absolutely. As an
that shows you the strength of the quarterback in this league.
Absolutely. They're married to him, bro.
Yeah, which segues perfectly into a great comment from the 707 on the text line. He said, Matt, I don't think it matters what Houston does or anyone else in our division. The season is going to depend on Trevor Lawrence, and he's exactly right.
True.
If Trevor Lawrence plays well, if he plays at a high level, if he plays to the level that he expects from himself, not just fans and coaches and the media, if he plays to the level that he expects himself to play, this is a guy who, remember, prior to last season, was talking about becoming an MVP type player. Pete Prisco picked him to be his MVP, and Prisco told me he thought Trevor was good with it. He was motivated by being that type of player. Mm-hmm. So he has to become the player he thinks he can be. If he does, I mean, it's a great point. If he does, I don't think it's not going to matter what the Texans did, but it certainly will change the way this team develops throughout this coming year.
Yeah, absolutely. I want Trevor. Don't shy away from it. Don't have to embrace it. I mean, you listen. You've been garnered the great one, sort of say, since you was 14 years old.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, embrace it. Don't run from it. That's why I want to see Trevor. I just want to see him embrace it. I just wanted to see him just take charge. I mean, get on those guys. I mean, he has the. I don't want to say the credentials because he hasn't done anything, but I'm saying he can go toe to toe with anybody in that locker room and tell them, hey, listen, you're not getting it done. But his game got to be up par. You know what I'm saying? I want him. The reason why I want him to play so well is because I want him to be able to have the ability and the capacity to call out people when they're not playing well. But you can't do that if you're struggling. That's why I want him to play well because I want him to get on the line when they're not blocking. I want him to get on the wide receivers when they're not catching the balls or running the right routes and all that kind of stuff. But he can't do that right now because they look at him as like, bro, you don't have no credentials, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I want him to establish himself. Once he establishes himself as the great one, so to say, since he's been 14 years old, then he can put the pressure on the guys around him to be. I mean, that's the reason why Brew was able to put pressure on us. And you had all pros all in his huddle, but because he did it before,
right?
So he had the resume. He could call out me or Bo or Jimmy or Kim. Not often, but I'm saying he had the capabilities to do it though because we've seen his greatness.
Right.
That's why I think this organization is waiting to see Trevor's greatness, so he'll have the capacity to be able to get on the other guys and raise their level of play.
Plus, they'll glom to him once that happens.
Absolutely.
Once he becomes this elite
they gotta
player,
see it, though.
Yeah, that's once he becomes that elite player. Once he becomes a guy who All right, we got no problem, man. Who cares? We're down 27-0. So what? We're fine. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. Don't worry
That's
about
the
it.
closest. That's the closest he's been. That right there, the win over the Chargers, that's the closest he's been. But we don't see enough of it.
And what was that?
Do you think he's, to both of you guys, do you think, and not a knock on him, but like he's too nice of a guy? Like he doesn't want to, be that person to where you're saying, like, who are you talking to, Trev?
No, I mean,
I don't buy that.
He doesn't have to be anything other than himself, I mean, just, be who you are. But I want.
Kirk Cousins is a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
He's a great player. He commands attention on a team.
Yeah, he does.
So that's not. I don't think nice has anything to do with it. I think it's his game. Once his game becomes complete, once he becomes a complete NFL player, those guys will gravitate to him.
They will.
And they will hinge on his every word.
They'll come running. Absolutely.
So, and what was it at the end of the 22? What were they doing? Like, if something bad was going on, what did they say? All good, or we're good, or something like that. And it was 27-0, and all some little phrase they kept saying.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
I don't know.
What happened to that team? Right?
I don't
What
know.
happened to that ideal, that inner fortitude? That's what I think has got to happen as well in 2024. All right. Let's go back to our draft, our mock draft.
Okay.
We've already given you the first 3 picks of our draft.
Well, do you want to recap the first 3?
Let's do the recap. Give me your first 3.
Okay, here's my first 3. My first 3 was at 17. I've got Adane. I'm gonna say AD Mitchell, wide receiver, Texas. At 48, I've got Trevante Sweat, defensive tackle, Texas.
Big man.
And then at 96, I got Kyrie Jackson, cornerback, Oregon.
All right, Joe C's first 3 are Quinyon Mitchell, the coveted corner from Toledo. His 48 is Keon Coleman. He and his 4.6 40. I think that's a way overpicked by Joe C, but that's fine. His 96 is Adisa Isaac, the edge from Penn State. His 114 is Cole Bishop from Utah. Not a bad pick.
Cole Bishop?
Yep.
All right, at 114, I've got the offensive tackle, right tackle, 6'6", 315, Blake Fisher from Notre Dame.
Strong dude. I think he can slide inside a little bit too.
He can move. He can play guard. That's what I kind of hope he could do.
All right, so my first 3 were Leatu Latu, the edge from UCLA at 17, at 48, and this Reg Straw Jr. from Mizzou. And 96 was Jalen McMillan, the wide receiver from Washington. At 114, Galen Carson, the corner from Wake Forest. We are in desperate need of corners on this franchise.
Yeah. Well,
right. Joe's 114. Did I tell you Joe's 114 already? Yeah, Cole Bishop.
You did.
Cole
yeah,
Bishop.
Cole
All right,
Bishop.
let's go to 116.
Okay. All right. At 116, I'm taking the safety out of Washington State, Jaden Hicks.
Yeah.
Good player?
Good player.
Okay.
Physical. Good cover guy, yeah.
All right.
Doesn't run that well, but good player.
Is that an overpick at 116?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
4th round pick? Okay. All right.
Nope. Joe's 116 is Blake Fisher. My 116 is Blake Fisher.
Oh, okay.
So he's certainly a guy. I don't know that he's big enough yet to be moved inside, but he's a guy that can play inside.
He's 6'6", 315.
He's 315. You think that's big enough inside?
He got to be a dog, though. Is he a dog?
Well, his body. I mean, think about it. I'm telling you, he's 6'6" and he's 315.
315. So
he looks a lot.
He's
like,
elongated.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not really.
He looks a lot like you know who at center, man, the friend of the program.
Oh, don't say that.
Well, he does.
Okay.
He
all
does.
right.
He does.
That's unfortunate.
I'm not giving up on Florida yet either.
Okay, I'm not either.
All right.
You can learn from the bench.
Let's go to 153.
All right, 153. I've got edge rusher, UCLA. Gabriel Murphy.
Yep, Gabriel Murphy. The other side for Latu. Good player.
Good player.
Similar type build. Just I don't think he's as explosive.
Is that the reason why
his hands aren't as good as Latu?
Well, I saw Latu. Where was that? I think I was watching combine coverage for Latu.
Bro, his hands.
He's got good hands, bro. If you're offensive lineman and you're not sound technically with your hands and your feet, he's going to beat you. He is.
He's long and his hands are really good.
Yeah.
All right, Joe's got Mason McCormick, the guard from South Dakota State, at 153. At 153, I got Bo Limmer, the guard from Arkansas.
Okay.
I finally hit a guard, Leon.
Okay.
I pick 153.
Bro, that Now, you initially, last week, you were guard off
I'm
the
still
bat.
guard, but I realize now it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No.
All right, let's go to 212.
212, I've got inside offensive lineman. Well, he's a center. University of Miami, bit of a homer. Matt Lee.
I love that pick.
I'm going to go with Matt Lee. I'm going to tell you why I'm going to go with Matt Lee. Because, you got Morris, a veteran. I mean, more than likely, he's probably going to be here 2 years. Fortner is going to have to learn under him. And then you put Matt Lee, you put him on the practice squad, let him develop or whatever, and then we'll see what happens.
So he can play guard or center.
He could.
He's definitely more of a center.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I love about Matt Lee. I remember last spring when we were talking to Mario, he said when Matt Lee left UCF to go to Miami, he said, watch Matt Lee. He's a dude. He's a fighter.
Okay.
He said he loved him because he was a fighter. He was going to change the mentality of that offensive line there.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the reason why. I was so big on your guy, Cooper Beebe.
Yeah.
I mean, when you show me that film of him, he just had an attitude and a swagger and a nastiness about him. And I told you that this offensive line, it needed a temperature change. You know what I'm saying? The guys there's nobody on the offensive line that just get down and dirty. And that's
the way he finishes.
Yeah,
too,
bro.
Some guys around.
See, that kind of attitude, that can become contagious among the offensive line, especially if you just got a guy that just likes to bulldoze people off the ball. I love it.
All right, it's good. Joe's 212 is Jordan Jefferson, the interior defensive lineman from LSU. My 212 is Marcus Harris, the interior defense line from Auburn. So we're all kind of on the same side there. All right, 236, last pick in the draft.
All right, my last pick in the draft. I'm going with the cornerback out of Auburn, Jalen Simpson, 7th round pick.
Yep, good run.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good pick.
I mean, that's Auburn. Listen, that Auburn defense last year.
Really good.
Really good, bro. Man,
Offense not so good.
No.
That was the problem.
It was the problem, bro.
All right, so cornerback's going to be a very important position for them in this draft, and I think they might even draft 3. Because I keep looking at it. Look, if the guys in the roster were there that are guys you're comfortable with, you're not going out and signing Ronald Darby. So I think they're going to get at least 3, 2, but at least probably 3. I'm going with 3 corners for them. All right, Joe's last pick is Tyron Hopper, a linebacker from Missouri. So he's taking a little page out of Trent Baalke's book. Doesn't need a linebacker, but they're going to get a linebacker. He's got Tyron Hopper, his last pick. My last pick is Johnny Dixon, the corner from Penn State. Doesn't run as well as the other corners, but a guy that makes plays. All right, that's our draft. We'll do it every week until the official draft, which is now, 2.5 weeks away?
It's not far, bro.
It's 3 weeks from today, right?
It's the 25th.
Yeah, it's 3 weeks from today.
Yeah, the 25th, 3 weeks from today.
3 weeks from today.
I'll be at the stadium signing autographs for the draft. I was cordially invited. A couple of days ago. Yeah, a couple of days ago.
Hey, one more thing before we go to break. Hit your offensive lineman camp.
Oh, my offensive lineman camp. Okay. So me and Greg Huntington, the Mangler, first of all, we love offensive line. All right, we love everything about being offensive lineman. So we came up with this. We've got a camp April 14th at D1 on Beach Boulevard from 9 to 1, and everything is going to be run blocking and pass blocking orientated. We're going to have drills set up. It's going to teach all the components of run blocking and then all the components of pass blocking. They're going to be in drills. Right now, we got a decent turnout. We haven't sold out. So if you go to eventbrite.com and put Lyman Life / offensive line camp, you can sign up. Right now, tickets are going for like $175 for 4 hours. 4 hour of drilling.
That's pretty good.
So bring your hard hat and lunch pail because we're going to work.
All right, we need to go to break. We're going to come back on the other side. We're going to get deep into the 70-team college football fantasy land that some of the presidents from the ACC and other conferences, not the power conferences, have thrown out there as an idea of the future of college football. We'll get into that. We'll talk a little more Jags as well on the other side. It's XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. For most people, noon means lunchtime.
What's wrong with lunch?
At 1010XL, it means prime time. Joe C., Matt, Leon, and Mia.
Here's to lunch, anyway.
Lunch, friends, and sports talk. Weekdays noon to 3 on 1010XL.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
This is Rich Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. The last few months, Major League Soccer cards have grown in immense popularity due to Messi's play down in Miami, his low print run of cards, and Topps MLS. While 2024 MLS Blasters have exclusive icy foil parallel cards. It's Showtime, Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Pickett here. The Borland Groover Foundation proudly presents the annual March to Get Screened 5K race and 1 mile fun run. Sunday, April 14th. The race starts at 7 a.m. under the Fuller Warren Bridge. Their mission, raise awareness about colorectal cancer and related deaths. All proceeds benefit the Borland Groover Foundation. It's a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
Ready for a heating and air company that's just as local as your favorite coffee shop? That's Bold City Heating and Air. Jacksonville grown, family owned and operated, and not bought out by the out-of-town big guys. And with transparent pricing, you'll know the costs up front, with options to choose from, backed by Bold City's satisfaction guarantee. And rest assured, Bold City Techs will treat your home with white glove service. You can be comfortable today. Visit boldcityac.com.
Start your Sunday off with a cup of Joe and some sports medicine intel. This is Joe C. inviting you to join me and Dr. George Bari for Breaking Bones every Sunday morning at 7:30. And if you miss an episode, just look for Breaking Bones wherever you listen to podcasts.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
Hey, Glenn here with B&B Oil with Dylan from March Motor. Hey, Dylan, how does B&B Oil help you guys at the dealership?
If you have a dealership and don't want to worry about the hassle of credit cards or fuel vouchers floating around, have B&B Oil put a tank on your lot. It allows us to control who gets fuel and cuts out the worries of credit cards. And it helps us deliver the car faster. B&B Oil also meets our shop needs with lubricants as well. Call Glenn or check out the website, bb-oil.com.
Did you know Prime Roofing manufactures, fabricates, and installs their metal roofs? If you're thinking about a metal roof, think Prime Roofing. Schedule an estimate today at primeroofingfl.com. That's primeroofingfl.com.
Men, suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE? Frustrated taking pills that don't work? Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough treatments with men lasting longer than ever without pain or surgery.
Call now. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results right in the office. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
Dave Binion here with my son Ammon, who is the air duct cleaning manager at Zero Res. So Ammon, you may notice a little rattle in my voice and some puffiness in my eyes. That's because allergy season is coming on. Can Zero Res help?
Yes, your health has a lot to do with the air you breathe. A clean and healthy home begins with clean air. At Zero Res, we can help clean the air in your home by cleaning your air ducts, cleaning the coils in your HVAC units, and fogging the system with a powerful antimicrobial that helps kill and control the growth of microorganisms in your air. We also have options for maintaining your clean air with our excellent inline air purifier and UV lights that will help keep your system clean and healthy. At Zero Res, we are more than just air duct cleaners. We're a clean air specialist.
Have Zero Res air duct specialists out, and right now we'll give you $50 off your air duct cleaning, and while we're at it, we'll give you $50 off your dryer vent cleaning. Zero Res.
Spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
All right, 2 more segments to go here on XL Primetime. Matt Hayes, Leon Searcy, RJ in the box. Joe headed to St. Augustine PGA Tour duties. I want to get into this college football Super League, but real quick, a good idea from the text line from the 955 said, Matt and Leon, can you guys rank the AFC South quarterbacks and teams right now? First, let's go with your teams. How are you ranking the teams?
Wow, that's interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna go Titans at 4.
Yep.
Colts, Jags, Texans.
I'm with you on that. I'm a little leery right now, but I'm with you on that.
Right now.
Right now
on paper.
Yeah, on paper.
And they won the division last year. I'm going off, previous results. All right. So if we're ranking quarterbacks, all right.
Now ranking quarterbacks.
Okay, quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson at 4, Levis at 3, Trevor at 2, Stroud at 1.
All right, I'm going Levis at 4, Richardson 3, and then Trevor at 2, Stroud at 1. I don't know how you don't put C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud.
I don't know how you don't
C.J. Stroud right now is one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league.
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get into this college football Super League, Leon, because and I want to start off first by saying, in a perfect world, I think it would be great because you have the old Power 5 conferences back with the addition of UCF, Houston, BYU, SMU to the group. You have Notre Dame as part of the group, all right, and you play a nice little 7-division league, and you have an 8th division, which would be part of the Conference USA, part of Sunbelt, all those guys. You'd get 10 of those guys, the best performing programs, and they'd have the ability to move up like the Premier League. And on the other side of it is among those 7 divisions, you're moving down if you don't win too.
I like that.
So,
absolutely.
Right. So, again, in a perfect world, I love that.
What are the parameters of them moving up and down? Is it
I don't know. There are no parameters yet.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, where are the parameters? Because, I mean, are you going to – I mean, you got to be consistent to stay up top, all right?
Correct.
So –
just like the Premier League in soccer,
absolutely.
Same thing.
You got to be consistent. I mean, we're talking about? Are we talking numbers as far as eyeballs? Are we talking about consecutive wins? I mean, there's got to be some
my guess
parameters.
is it would be wins based. That would be my guess.
Based. All right.
But you're talking about just like the Premier League, you're not going to make as much money as you made if you're in the top 7.
I don't have a problem with it because here's the thing. I mean, you can't have teams in the top 70 going 2-9, 2-9, 2-9. You see what I'm saying?
I don't disagree.
So I mean, those type of schools like that, if they're consistently bad, they go down, and then give the other the opportunity to go up.
Give Arkansas State a chance to move up.
Something. I'm just telling you.
So I don't mind the concept. Okay. Here's what I do mind. I do mind that the fabric of the game, which I believe is rivalries and the regional aspect of the game, the regional rivalries will be lost. Will be just lost because you're not going to get the divisions will be different at that point. It'll be more geographically based, which you would think would be regional rivalries, but you're not going to get what you've had in the past. Like Florida will be in the same conference as Georgia Tech, along those lines.
Yeah.
So it'll be different in that sense.
Yeah.
So,
but you and I are purists, okay?
Right, but I think the majority of college football fans are purists too, though.
Do you?
I think they want.
Do you think young guys care if the rivals? I don't know.
I don't know either. But my guess would be from like the age of 30 on.
Yeah.
I think they like the.
I agree. Yes.
The idea of the SEC and the Big Ten and the Pac-12. I think people are still very upset about the Pac-12 being disassembled. I don't think there's any question about that. So in that sense, I think the 70-team league would be a great thing. Now the problems are you're going to lose some of those the regional aspect of it. That's number one, and number two. I think when you look at this thing, anytime you allow someone who's not connected at all to your sport, being the capital venture guys, you allow them under the tent to stick their nose under the tent, man, they're going to get under and they're going to infiltrate. And especially if money's involved, when it is involved, and they're going to be dealing with the CBA, they're going to be dealing with paying players. They're going to try and take that all off the backs of the presidents and the university presidents and the universities, so they don't have to deal with all that. They will get more and more involved in the game. All right? And I think if you want to partner like that, I would partner with the NFL. Now, that down the road, I don't think that'll ever happen, but if you're the NFL and you're college sports and you really want to make a paradigm shift in the way you do things, the way college football runs its business, partner with the NFL and just tell the NFL, look, this is it. We are the only way to get to the NFL, college football. There's no other way to get to the NFL.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't it be in the NFL's best interest to make sure college football is financially healthy and is a situation where there are as many teams as possible competing at the highest level as possible? Because this idea here is a pipe dream. There's no way the SEC and the Big Ten are going to share revenue. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the NFL wouldn't infiltrate in some capacity. It's their farm league.
It's exactly what it is.
It's their farm league. I mean, they should want to, fluctuate and make sure everything, because that's their lifeline.
It's in their best interest.
It's in their best interest. Absolutely. I mean, that's their IV. I mean, that
is their IV.
It is their IV. College football is the NFL's IV, and you would think they want that product to flourish, because as they prosper and flourish, I mean, eventually the NFL is going to be the benefactor of it.
Now, one of the NFL's, it's Roger Goodell's primary lieutenant at the NFL is part of the group, but he's really part of the group as a TV/media rights kind of guy. So he's not really in it as far as we're going to help you. The NFL is going to help you. The NFL doesn't want anything to do with that. They've got enough of their own problems with their own CBA.
True.
So they're not going to do that. I don't know if it'll ever get to that, to where there's some kind of collaboration between the two, the NFL and college football, where they can deal with the issues that are off the field, the main collective bargaining, the player salaries. You're also dealing with, here's another thing too, is once you get to this level of play, then it's, okay, why are these guys going to school? Are they going to school to play football, or are they going to school for academics? Or is it both? And that goes back to the Mike Leach thing a couple years ago, when he said you could have two roads to take once you get in college. You can be a guy that, I'm just going to play football. My major is football. Or the other guy says, my major is academics and I'm playing football. There's a lot going on outside this.
Just let it be honest, all right? Just be honest. I mean, because, listen, my offensive coordinator in Miami told me these profound words, all right? He told us. He said, listen, you came here to Miami to win championships. If you wanted an education, you should have took your ass to Harvard. I mean, let's just be real with it now. Listen, come on now. Everything come on now. I mean, I'm not going to say all.
Are you glad you got your education?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Are you proud of your education?
Absolutely. I haven't used it at all, not once. but said I got it. It's in my wallet right here. The miniature size is in my wallet. Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I mean, with the numbers, the daunting numbers that are going on with the bowls and the NIL or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say all coaches, but those coaches, they're not concerned with class anymore. Come on, bro.
You don't need coaches at all.
They ain't concerned with class anymore.
I think there are some.
They're about W's.
It's a minority of coaches, but I think
yes.
Yeah, but I think there are
they're
some
about dubs, bro.
Yeah, the majority are about dubs, no doubt.
Man, listen, a lot of those coaches, they don't care if you scored 100 on your test. Are you going to score on Saturday?
What you doing for me in between those lines?
I'm just, man, listen. The truth hurts, bro. I'm just speaking the truth.
I agree with you. But my point is, there's so much more going on than just simply saying, hey, let's have 7 divisions. And with the division winner, the whole thing is you're never going to need a playoff committee anymore. You just take the 7 division champions and you take 7 wild cards and you have a 14-team playoff, just like the NFL, and away we go. And you know what?
Yeah.
There's so much more. That's like the iceberg is away we go, and then right underneath away we go is, oh my God, it's the Titanic.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much that has to be dealt with beyond just simply saying, oh yeah, let's get the best 70 teams. It's way more than that. Way more. All right. We got one more segment to go. We're going to get into our we're counting down the best 17th picks, number 17 pick in the NFL draft for the last 17
Not necessarily
for the last 17 years. Right.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the great picks, but just the
17
pick. And
yeah.
We're going to come up with a interesting one on the other side. It's XL Primetime.
cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hello, you're on the air.
1010XL has a new lineup.
Here we go.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser. Mornings. Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony. 10 to noon. Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl. Noon to 2. Joe C., Matt Hayes, and Leon. 2 to 4. Frank Frangie and Hayes Carline. 4 to 6. And Baloo and Hacker in the evening.
Flip a dial. Instant entertainment.
I'm Taylor Rose with our Remedy Staffing Westside office off of Normandy Boulevard. We are helping great people find great jobs. Remedy has helped some of the best employers in Jacksonville find talented job seekers like you for over 25 years. Our current job openings range from entry-level distribution center pickers to equipment operators. Apply today at remedygoodjobs.com. Don't wait. Apply at remedygoodjobs.com now.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Are you looking for quality tires that won't break the bank? Well, Big Chief Tire has you covered. Frank Frangie here. Get $50 off a new set of tires, and for even greater savings, finance with the CFNA card to receive an additional $50 off your first purchase and no interest for 6 months. Schedule an appointment today at BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 and take advantage of these incredible deals. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On April 4th, 1937, at the 4th Augusta National Invitational Tournament, golfer Byron Nelson won his first major title, 2 strokes ahead Rolf Goodall.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind, but new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars. Make them your AC partner with honest cost estimates before they start the work with no hidden fees. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Kuhn Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Kuhn Flowers.
Bet on the ball game. Get your money down. Money lines, totals, and parlays. Where cash and tickets all around.
It's baseball betting season, and VSiN's MLB betting guide is a home run for bettors. Download your free special edition of the guide, featuring a betting preview of the Atlanta Braves and Tampa Bay Rays at 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Golf is as popular as it's ever been, and Hidden Hills welcomes all who love this game as much as we do. You'll surely enjoy our Arnold Palmer design, which is nestled in one of the highest elevations in North Florida. Book your tee time today, and you'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
In an earlier trade from the Kansas City Chiefs, with the 17th pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Gosder Shereless, tackle, Boston College.
Look at the chairless. Look at chairless. That uppercut to the gut of J.J. Watt. Really? I'm saying, you do that one more time. See, and Watt didn't retaliate. That's what you like about it.
All right, we're back on Primetime. One segment to go before we hand it off to the Frangie Show from 4 to 6. Then you got Blue from 6 to 8. You got Hack After Dark from 8 to 10. We take care of you all day long on 1010XL, the Superstation. Leon, we are doing our draft number 17. 17 to 17 is what we're calling it. So 17 working days, not just days. 17 working days beginning yesterday till the NFL draft, which is officially 3 weeks from today. And we were talking off the air, and I'm thinking, the older I get, the faster time goes. We're already a quarter of the way through this year.
Yeah.
All right? When I was young, it wouldn't go fast enough.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
What happens when you're shorty, right?
Yeah, you start looking at your mortality.
All right, so we are at the year 2008 for the draft right now, and that was Gosder Cherry-Luce, who was an All-American offensive tackle at Boston College. Played 10 seasons in the league, by the way.
Nice.
Never, didn't earn any All-Pro honors or Pro Bowl honors. Started 116 games.
Mm-hmm.
Nice career.
Yeah. He was a worker bee. What you talking about? 10 years? Yeah.
10 years, man.
You can appreciate guys like that, worker bees. First of all, offensive linemen rarely get attention anyway, all right?
Right.
So when you do garner something, we speak in volumes as far as the longer we can stay in the league, that speaks volumes. The fact that he was a first-round pick and played 10 years, that's enough for me. Lets me know he was steady. Now,
he got to a second contract with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually went to the Colts and the Bucs. But let's just say they draft an offensive lineman. Clearly, I don't think they are. But let's say JPJ is a guy they take at 17.
Mm-hmm.
And he becomes a guy that gets to a second contract, plays 7 or 8 years here, never really is a Pro Bowl guy, isn't an All-Pro guy, but he's just a solid guy. Are you good with that pick at 17?
I'm good. Strong. Interior of the offensive line?
Yeah.
If he can stabilize the interior of the offensive line, where Trevor's not having to run and take hits, absolutely. If you're telling me that he's plug and play for the next 10 years as a Jaguar and never amasses any Pro Bowls, Brad Meester. Brad Meester was a hell of a center here in Jacksonville.
Pretty good player.
Real damn good player.
Yeah.
Damn good player.
Yeah.
Didn't get any Pro Bowls, but he was the type of guy. He was a second-round pick with the Jaguars, right? In 2000, I believe. Second-round pick. But they put him at center, and they turned their back and said, hey, we're good for the next decade or so.
Consistency is what we're looking for.
Absolutely, especially in the interior of the offensive line. Yes, I'll take that all day.
You take that all day?
All day.
But just at that position, right? Like, you wouldn't take that at, defensive end, would you?
No.
Or you wouldn't take that at corner, right?
No. As an offensive line, if you tell me that you bring in this guy, he stabilized the interior of the offensive line for the next decade, listen, ask Trevor. Ask Trevor, he'll sleep better at night. He'll sleep a lot better at night, knowing that the interior of his offensive line is solid.
Which
Absolutely.
is, I mean, that's something we talked about forever now in this offseason. Is it's as important for him to be able to step up and make a throw. And I said this earlier this week. I can't remember how many times I was like, "Oh my God, he's going to hit his hand in one of those helmets. I can see it coming," because the rush is coming at him, and he's trying to do what he should do: stay in the pocket, go through progressions, and make a quick throw. But the rush is coming at him. You know, his line's getting bulldozed.
Yeah, too often the interior of the offensive line was overwhelmed. I mean, you don't know how many times. I mean, listen, you don't know how many times I saw Fortner get picked up like groceries. For real. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, man. I'm not trying to tell you. I'm just saying. I'm looking at it. When
You're
I watch,
hurting our guy.
No,
Man.
I'm just
You're
saying.
hurting him.
No, listen. No disrespect, but listen. You take your lumps. You learn. You either learn or linger. You're gonna get better. You're gonna get worse. I mean, I just got to call it as I see it. So I mean, yeah, but I just it's as taking care of 16 is the main priority.
Right.
You know,
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're influenced by what I say, then get better. Just be better. That's all.
Yeah.
Because I tell you what, when they play well, I'm the first to pat them on the back. But when they don't, I'm the first to spank them. I am.
By the way, the 3 picks after the 17 in 2008, Joe Flacco to the Ravens, Jeff Oda, the offensive tackle from Pittsburgh to the Panthers, and Aqib Talib, the Kansas corner. So I'm going to go back real quick to what you said. So you're okay with an offensive lineman being solid for 10 years. So let's just say they take Brian Thomas, or let's say it's Terry Arnold, all right, the corner or the wide receiver at 17. One of those guys has got to be impactful. What you're saying, it's got to be
absolutely. Yeah, he's got to be impactful. I mean, listen, the first 3 picks got to be impactful, bro. The first three picks, the first, second, they got to have an impact.
They can't be these 10-year guys.
They can't just be guys. They cannot just be guys.
All right, we're going to get into this much more, not only tomorrow but throughout the week. We got the Frangie Show coming up, and again, you got Baloo and Hacker after that. Come back tomorrow. We're going to get deep into this. We'll have Coach tomorrow as well.
Nice.
All right, for Joe Cowart, I'm Matt Hayes. He's Leon Searcy. We got RJ in the box. Hang tight. Frangie Show's coming up.
You're riding in the First Coast